Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Wisconsin.
We welcome you a Thursday night from beautiful Miller Park. The parking lot is crowded. The tailgating is epic. And the Arizona Diamondbacks are here, one of the surprise teams in the National League. Jake Lamb, the reigning National League Player of the Week. He's been hot. He is a real force with Paul Goldschmidt. And how about Ryan Braun? Today is the day he celebrates his 10th anniversary as a Major League player. Tremendous accomplishment. So we open play today with the Diamondbacks at 10 games over 500, 29-19, third best record in the NL. The Brewers tied with the Cubs for the 5th best record in the National League. And hi everybody, welcome from Miller Park on this Thursday evening. Great to have you with us today. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder. Sophia Minard is our reporter tonight. Well, what a difference a year makes, right? The Arizona Diamondbacks coming up short of expectations last year. The Brewers in a rebuild mode, but these two teams, Rock, have put it together quickly in 2017.
Well, yeah, the Diamondbacks all of a sudden are a lot more healthy than they were last year. That was their problem a year ago, but this year they're starting to swing the bats. One of the best offensive teams in all of baseball. The Brewers in this rebuild. It's kind of a surprise at this point. It's really eerie when you look at the offense for these two teams. I mean, just about every category, they are neck and neck. There's not a whole lot that separates them. Offense is going to be very good in this series. The key is going to be the starting pitching. The Diamondbacks outstanding starting pitching. The Brewers have been up and down with that. So it's going to be the pitching staff that keeps the other team down is going to be an important part of this series, this 4-game series this weekend.
It's great to see these two teams relevant once again. They matched up in the 2011 NLDS. It was a thriller. Zach Davies on the mound for the Brew Crew. He is a Phoenix area resident. Sophia will talk to the pitching coach, Derek Johnson, for more on the Zach Attack tonight. Stay with us.
Light, the original light beer. By Hupy and Abraham, voted best, rated best. Hupy and Abraham, tell them you mean business. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Eric Thames and the Brewers looking to snap a 3-game losing streak as we open up a 4-game series against the Arizona Diamondbacks here tonight. Here's a look at tonight's starters. It'll be Robbie Ray, the lefty, for the Diamondbacks, a 3-3 record for him. And for the Brewers, it'll be Zach Davies making his 10th start of the season, a 5-2 record. The earned run average, 5.44. Good evening, everyone. Sophia Minert here at Miller Park. And Zach Davies was winless over his first 3 starts, but has settled into a nice groove over his last 6. The team has gone 6-3 in his starts. Craig Counsell really likes the way that Davies has been competing. Even though he hasn't had his best stuff, he maybe had his best outing in his last San Diego. It was his first quality start of the season. He gave up just 2 earned runs on 5 hits at Petco Park. Pitching coach Derek Johnson spoke about the adjustments that Davies made that led to that success.
It was a little bit of a physical thing. I mean, just try to tone down his delivery a little bit. And that seemed to help as much as anything, him able to get to both sides of the plate with his fastball. And I thought it helped his changeup too, and he made a pretty good adjustment with it.
Zach Davies looks to build off of his previous start against San Diego. We've got first pitch between the Brewers and the Diamondbacks coming up next with Brian Anderson and Bill Schroeder.
To the field at Miller Park on a Thursday night. Brewers, Arizona Diamondbacks, game 1 of this 4-game series. It's on Fox Sports Wisconsin, and it is presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Roof is all closed up, although a gorgeous day outside today. Feeling like spring once again. Just a little chilly to keep the roof open for tonight. 61 degrees outside Miller Park, so they close it up tight. And we're ready for baseball this evening. The red-hot Arizona Diamondbacks and Torey Lovullo, their first-year manager, 10 games over 500. Just 2 games back, the surging Colorado Rockies. Rockies have 31 wins already. There have been 2 big stories in the National League. The batting order courtesy of Potawatomi with Blanco, Peralta, and Goldschmidt at the top. Lamb, Owings, and Drury in the middle with Herman, Mathis, and Ray rounding out the starting 9. Robbie Ray will pitch against Zach Davies. Umpires for a quick check on the replay unit. The 4-man umpiring crew. Jim Reynolds right there is the crew chief. He's the one that will initiate that review process. Stu Shearwater is behind the plate. Reynolds will be at first tonight. Greg Gibson over at second base. Lance Barrett is the third base umpire. And Rock set us up for Zach Davies trying to get back to form, the form that we saw last season.
Yeah, 10 start. He's 5-2. He's won 5 in a row, although he really isn't throwing the baseball like he did a year ago. Last time out, a win at San Diego, 6 innings, 2 runs. He's won his last 5. That covers 6 starts, and the Brewers have won all 6. Let's check out the Menards defense behind Zach here tonight. You got Braun, Broxton, Santana in the outfield. Perez getting a start at third base. Travis Shaw getting this one off with the left-hander on the mound for the Diamondbacks. Arcia Vieira up the middle. Baines at first and Manny Pena behind home plate.
We got something going on with the replay system. Jim Reynolds back over to the replay side of the field, having a chat here with Torey Lovullo. I will venture a guess. I'm not sure if this is what's going on tonight, but I will tell you, when there is trouble with the feeds in one clubhouse, the camera feeds for replay, typically what they'll do is they'll make it unavailable for both teams so nobody has a competitive advantage, and that would be my guess, but we will wait to find out to see what's going on with the replay system.
Yeah, I would imagine that pretty much the only thing it could be. And Craig Counsell initially went out. He was the first to go out and talk to the crew chief. Jim Reynolds obviously saying something's wrong, and then he went over to Torey Lovullo, so that must be the issue.
And Jim Reynolds will head over to Craig Counsell and offer the explanation. So either way, we'll get the game going here shortly, and we'll find out if a replay opportunity is even available the first chance we get. And
Going old school tonight.
No replay,
You know,
just
right?
what you've always wanted, partner.
That's right. It'd be nice.
It's a great night for baseball. Glad to have you with us on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And 2 teams that are back in the mix once again. Great to see the Diamondbacks and the Brewers relevant once again. First pitch of the ball game is in there for a strike, and away we go. Brings up memories of 2011 as Blanco sends one deep into left center field. Broxton feeling for the wall. Never mind, that's way out of here. And Gregor Blanco with his first home run of the season. A leadoff home run here in the first. Just like that, the Diamondbacks are on the board.
Yeah, the Brewers were playing from behind in that Toronto series. The 2-game sweep at the hands of the Blue Jays here at Miller Park. You see that cut fastball from Davies, didn't do a whole lot, right down the middle of the plate, and Blanco able to lift it out of here. Last thing the Brewers wanted was to have to play from behind. Diamondbacks can bang, though. They can score some runs.
So Blanco gets into the home run act, his first of the season. Here's David Peralta. It's a well-balanced lineup. The Diamondbacks have 3 left-handers inside their top 4. They have a great left-right combination, one of the more dynamic tandems in the big leagues right now at the plate in Paul Goldschmidt and Jake Lamb. Lamb is the left-handed hitting version, Goldschmidt right-handed, putting together an early run at an MVP award after the first 6 weeks of the season or so.
And the Diamondbacks 3rd in runs scored in the National League, so it's going to be imperative for the Brewers in this 4-game series to get good starting pitching.
Right off the end of the bat, and the shift was on, and there is out number 1. Peralta retired, technically on a 6-3 put out. Arcia back in the starting lineup at shortstop here tonight. Did not start the game yesterday. Sogard got the call at short yesterday, so a day off for the 22-year-old shortstop. Brewers dropped 2 in a row to the Blue Jays, giving up 5 home runs in that series against Toronto. Diamondbacks swept the Chicago White Sox. Had a comeback win yesterday. Goldschmidt was a big part of it. Dove in a run, had a double, has 11 home runs on the year and 11 doubles on the season. Goldschmidt leads the National League in walks with 35. And what's interesting about his stat line across the board is the fact that he walks nearly as much as he strikes out. He's only struck out 38 times this year. To bring all of that power and on-base percentage and OPS and to not strike out that often. Bouncer to third base. Hernan Perez over there tonight, and there is out number 2.
And does not make many outs at Miller Park. He's got a career batting average before that at bat at 500. He loves it here.
He is truly one of the great players in the game. And he's got a partner in crime this year, Rock. This guy coming up now, Jake Lamb, one of the elite third basemen in the league. And he and Nolan Arenado of the Colorado Rockies are kind of rewriting what third basemen are supposed to do in that National League West, offensively and defensively.
Yeah, and very talented. You don't hear a whole lot about Jake Lamb, but between he and Goldschmidt, 24 home runs, 77 RBIs, 3 and 4 in that batting order.
Broken bat, little soft liner out to VR, who was back in the grass a few steps. And after the leadoff home run, Davies goes quickly through the order. 1-0 D-backs. Here comes Robbie Ray. First tonight, 1-0 Arizona. Craig Counsell, the former Diamondback, still very popular in the Phoenix area. Always gets big ovations when he returns to Phoenix. Third season as the skipper, and his Brewers are in first place. They've got company starting play today. The Cubs won earlier today, so both teams at 25 and 21. Counsell has VR back at the top of the order. Jonathan will lead off, then Thames, then Braun. Full complement once again here tonight as Braun returns to the lineup. He was off yesterday. Arcia back as well. And one of the great road pitchers to start the year, Rock, Robbie Ray on the mound for Arizona.
Yeah, no kidding. A 1.03 earned run average on the road in 4 starts. He's got a 675 home earned run average. He's won 3 in a row. Or actually, he won his last time out at San Diego, breaking a 3-game losing streak.
Arizona's done most of their winning at home this year. 21 of their 29 wins have come at Chase Field in Phoenix. Torey Lovullo's team at 29 and 19. So they start an 11-game road trip tonight, and then we'll find out if these D-backs are for real. We know Robbie Ray's for real. He's off to a great start, and he's been excellent on the road. Goes up the ladder to strike out Jonathan VR. One away. Let's give you the rest of that Brewers lineup, courtesy of Potawatomi. Thames hits second again, then Braun. Perez, Santana, and Pena in the middle of Craig Counsell's order, with Broxton, Arcia, and Davies rounding it out. Lefty on lefty. Thames at the plate gets the call against the left-handed pitcher. Travis Shaw gets the day off today. Neither are considered platoon players, but sometimes a manager makes sure when you need a day off, it comes against a left-handed starter. And today that is Shaw's turn to take a breather.
Yeah, because Travis is hitting .300 against lefties this year. That's not the issue. Just give him an opportunity.
Thames sends one to right field. Backing up on it is Peralta, and he makes the catch. Just into the cutout in right center. If he pulls it a hair, that's going to be a home run.
Yeah, he was just a little bit out in front, got it down on the end just enough to keep it in the ballpark. There's that slider that stayed middle part of the plate, and I think Robbie Ray thought that might have been a home run, but Peralta able to shag it out there and right.
2 up and 2 down. Diamondbacks do not have Yasmani Tomas in their starting lineup tonight. He's out with a hip injury. He's available to pinch hit as Ryan Braun gets his night started. Great milestone. Tonight is the night that Ryan Braun makes his appearance in a big league game on the 10th anniversary of his call-up. Sophia will have more on that when we come back for the second. But you think about the odds of a player, a professional player who signs a professional contract to A, make it to the big leagues, B, to stay 10 years in the major leagues, and then C, to do it all with one team.
Right.
It is a rare bird indeed.
And Brony's still battling a couple of things, the arm and the calf injury, and trying to get back to where he was before he was injured.
Had yesterday off, and Braun pops this one up. That's going to stay playable. And the catcher Mathis will make the play, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Robbie Ray. Off and running at Miller Park. We go to the second. Arizona 1-0.
It was exciting, it was overwhelming, it was nerve-wracking. There's just probably more excitement and enthusiasm for playing the game of baseball than I can ever remember feeling before. And it felt like just a culmination of kind of everything I'd worked for as a baseball player to that point in my career. So it sounds cliche, but it's literally the first day of being able to live out the childhood dream of making it to the major leagues.
That's Ryan Braun, our car suit scoop from the clubhouse on the 10-year anniversary of his Major League debut in San Diego at Petco Park. And you heard his emotions just speaking about that day. He said it was especially special that it happened in San Diego. He grew up in Los Angeles, so he was able to share that day with friends and family. And he said at the time, you don't think about the long term, he said. So in terms of being with the Brewers for 10 years, he knows he's incredibly fortunate and blessed to have the career that he's had in a great city, a great organization. And he has certainly embraced his role here as the leader of this franchise.
All right, Sophia, thank you. Yeah, it was good to reminisce with Ryan Braun today, and that sweet swing that still holds up as Chris Owings sends one deep into right center, and that's going to fly out of here. And Zach Davies finds himself in a 2-0 hole early on a couple of solo home runs. Owings belts his 6th of the season, and you're getting a taste right away at what the Diamondbacks have been doing to the rest of the league over the first 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah, most of it has come at Chase Field in Arizona, but they're starting to swing the bats. Fastball location not very good so far for Zach. That pitch outer half up a little bit, and Owens goes right with it. Oh, he's having a terrific start to his season. There's not a lot of margin for error with this Diamondbacks ball club. I mean, this offense is good top to bottom. And you got to keep them down early because they're starting rotation. Talking about the Diamondbacks, these guys are good. Got to match them pitch for pitch.
Well, here is Brandon Drury, everyday second baseman for Arizona. And the 0-2 is fouled away. We were taking a look at the starting lineup the day Ryan Braun made his debut. Craig Counsell was on that team. Matter of fact, Craig Counsell and Tony Graffinino were the third base platoon when Braun came up. If you don't know, Braun came to the big leagues as a third baseman. Did not go well. There's a bouncing ball through and a base hit for Drury. And a man on. And so Braun went to left field the next year after his Rookie of the Year campaign. But it was Ricky Weeks. Braun hit second his first day. J.J. Hardy was the 3-hole hitter. And then you had Prince Fielder, Jeff Jenkins, Billy Hall.
Some good sticks in that batting order.
All good names. Damian Miller, Gabe Gross. Dave Bush was the pitcher that day when Braun made his debut in San Diego.
You know what I find to be the most interesting and most unbelievable part of what Braun has done is the fact that he has not changed his batting stance one iota from the day he got to the big leagues till now. He's never really tweaked his batting stance. He tweaks the way he approaches his stance or his at bats from time to time, maybe moving off the plate a little bit. But in talking to Braun, even back a couple of years ago, he said he's had that same batting stance since Little League and hadn't changed it a bit.
It's truly one of the great right-handed swings in the history of baseball. Mechanically flawless, and it has held up well for him. And you're right, I remember early in his career we had a lot of footage of Ryan Braun as a high school player. There's a bouncer, got a chance to turn it here, and Herman will, no, he beats it, bounces into a force at second, but Chris Herman beats it down the line. And
Craig Counsell looking in. I'm not sure he beats it easily. I mean, that's not even probably a consideration for a review. He's clearly beat it. He got down that line in good shape.
By the way, we did get clarification on the review situation at the beginning of the game. There was a technical issue with the replay scenario. So basically the crew chief decided, or the crew chief was ruled, that they will have unlimited challenges until the issue is resolved or till the end of the game. So that was why all of the discussion that was going on. No need to look at that. There's a snap throw to first. Got him at first base.
Might see another review, maybe a possible look at it. Apparently it must be fixed because we saw Craig Counsell looking down. You see Torey Lovello doing the same thing. This is going to be close at first base. There's Ron Gardenhire. Manny Pena does this as well as anybody. A pick off at first base. Let's see if it holds up. This will be a good look at it right here. I don't know.
Right on the shoulder. I don't think there's enough there to overturn. So
ball clearly beats him, but does the tag get him in time? It looks like the Diamondbacks aren't going to chance it. Another pickoff for Pena.
It's good alliteration there too. A Pena pickoff.
Got to say it slow.
That's a thing. You brand that. Right off the end of the bat. Thames ranging over. Villar's there and he bobbles. And Mathis will reach.
And they would have had him had Villar been able to keep the ball in his glove. They'll see how they score it. Right off the end of the bat. Davies clearly there in time, but I think they get the out. If Villar is able to keep it in the glove and make a throw, they're going to give him a base hit.
Infield hit. The third of the inning, fourth of the game. And a man on with 2 outs for the pitcher Robbie Ray. Ray's a pretty good hitter. He has 6 hits already this season. 21 plate appearances. Can handle the bat. 6 for 18 at the plate. Diamondbacks have been aggressive against Zach Davies to start this one. On the board with 2 solo home runs already. And a swing and a miss. 0-2 the count.
That's the key pitch for Davies. I mean, when he's able to throw that pitch down there, get ahead in the count with it. That's ordinarily when he has his good games. It's been a pitch that he has really battled so far this year.
No balls, 2 strikes on the Arizona pitcher. And right off the end of the bat, right to Thames. Easy play for him to end the inning. However, back-to-back innings of leadoff homers. Blanco in the first, Owings in the second.
Need your vote, all 35 of them to be exact. Go to brewers.com/vote and cast your ballot up to 5 times per day, 35 times total, to make sure your hometown Stars are well represented at the Midsummer Classic this July in Miami.
Who's got your vote right now on the Brewers for an all-star appearance? It's early. We got a lot of baseball before the all-star game. Probably figure Eric Thames.
Yeah, Thames is going to get some votes.
Travis Shaw is among league leaders in ribbies.
Yeah, Travis has been very good so far.
Hernan Perez leads off right off the end of the bat, and a fly ball to Blanco for out number 1.
Well, let's check out the Diamondbacks as they line up defensively. Brought to you by Menard, Herman, Blanco, Peralta in the outfield. You got Jake Lamb, Chris Owings with 7 errors at shortstop. You got Drury Goldschmidt, the Gold Glover at first base, and Jeff Mathis the defensive specialist behind home plate. Diamondbacks defense about middle of the pack in the National League.
First pitch, strike to Domingo Santana. Santana's coming on as of late. He's had a nice run at the plate. Swinging a foul, slicing into the seats. Santana in the month of May, partner, 19 games, 343 batting average with 10 RBIs. Most notably has 11 walks, and his on-base percentage this month is at .436.
And he's come up with some big 2-out base hits to drive in some runs. And the Brewers were without Domingo Santana most of the year last year. 2 different stints on the DL, and he has provided a lot of offense. Not this time. Slider by Robbie Ray to get him.
Second strikeout for Robbie Ray.
Yeah, Ray with a 4-seam fastball. He likes to throw it up in the zone. The curveball and a pretty good slider. If he has his curveball on, that's when he has his big strikeout games. Coming in, he's 6th in the National League in strikeouts out on the mound. But on the flip side of that, he has walked 29. That's second most.
This Diamondbacks pitching staff leads the National League in strikeouts. They have a very good pitching staff, which is why most feel their start, their 10-game over 500 beginning, as you look at Zach Greinke, Saturday starter.
He leads the league in strikeouts.
Most feel they've got staying power this year. The Dodgers are the team that most had winning that division to start the year, the preseason prognosticators. But the Colorado Rockies, we saw them up close and personal in the opening series. They look like they have some staying power as well. That National League West has turned into a juggernaut division in baseball.
And they say Torey Lovullo's had a big influence on this ball club. His relaxed style, his expectation of his starters.
Yikes. Up and in on Manny Pena. I couldn't see exactly where it got him. Looks like he's holding his forearm or elbow. Oh man, that is not a good sight.
Yeah, it didn't get him in the face, but it did get him on the arm just above the elbow.
Athletic trainer Dan Wright is out there quickly. Oh yeah, right on the point of the elbow.
Yeah.
And down in a heap.
Everything goes numb for a while. It comes back, but well, you feel like you're never going to have any feeling in your hand when it hits that funny bone like that, and he's still down.
He's trying to shake it off, but it is still causing a lot of pain. Trying to get some movement on it.
And Robert Ray, not a guy that hits many batters. It's only the second batter he's hit this year. Really no chance for Pena to get out of the way of that pitch. Up and in from the beginning.
See Dan Wright trying to do some strength tests for him. He couldn't even squeeze the 2 fingers of the athletic trainer, and got a huge welt on his arm right now. Elbow puffed up quickly. So he's going to be lifted in this game. And the Brewers will have to come up with a pinch runner here.
That'd be Bandy probably, right?
Jet Bandy, the other catcher, the job share. No clear-cut starter behind the plate for the Brewers this year. It's been a great combination with Jet Bandy and Manny Pena. And now Bandy will be forced into action.
You got to make sure you're loose. You're sitting in the dugout first inning. You don't expect to be in the ball game. So last thing you want to do is go out there without loosening up a bit, pull a muscle going to second base.
So a hit batter puts a runner at first. Pinch runner is Bandy with 2 outs. And here comes Keon Broxton. Tell you, if Pena doesn't raise that elbow as he did, I mean, he did that in self-defense. That was headed right for his face. Broxton took one in the face earlier this year, had a fractured nose out of it. Even though he wears that guard, he's been sporting that face guard since spring training, and it saved him a very serious injury.
Yeah.
But still fractured his nose. You can still see he still has some discoloration under his eyes.
You're going to see more and more guys wearing that. It really doesn't affect your vision a whole lot. Just something to get used to, and why not use it? Help you stay in there on those pitches.
Diamondbacks had a player hit in the face. Chris Iannetta, who's back on the active roster. Their other catcher, Mathis, is in there tonight. Checks his swing, does Broxton. 2 balls, no strikes on Keon. Homered yesterday against Marcus Stroman and the Blue Jays. Got the Brewers on the board first yesterday with his 5th home run of the season. There's a strike. Broxton hitting 7th in the lineup tonight. Arcia hits 8th. Broxton, shallow right, long run in for Peralta. Out is Drury, can't make the play. Snap throw to first. Broxton hustles back. Bandy goes all the way to third base. That was a heck of an effort by Drury. Almost ran that thing down, in and out of his glove, and Broxton is on with a hit. And Rock, a 7-game hitting streak for Keon now.
And most of his hits come to right field, but most of his power comes to left. And Drury going out because Peralta was playing pretty deep to prevent against the extra base hit. And Bandy with 2 outs, running on contact, able to get into third base. A good job by Broxton, not trying to pull it, just dumps it out there into right field.
In the National League, no player has raised their batting average from the end of April to now more than Keon Broxton. He was hitting 191 at the end of April. Coming into play today, hitting at 271. He's been hot. Keeps the inning alive. 2 on, 2 out now for Arcia. Orlando with the day off yesterday. Brewers are getting great production, Rock, out of their 7 and 8 hitters this year. It's been a mixed match unit, but it's been a lot of offense generated from those 2 spots in the order. .290 batting average combined between the 7 and 8 hitters for the Brewers this season.
And when you consider, you know, the 9th spot, even with pinch hitters, they've been doing a pretty good job. So 7 through 9 has been a pretty good area of the batting order. One of the reasons why the guys at the top of the order have so many RBIs. These guys at the bottom of getting on base.
We'll see if Arcia can cash it in with 2 outs. First and third, 2-0 Arizona. And Arcia with a big swing.
That slider from Robbie Ray. He's a left-hander, doesn't throw many changeups. It's not a big part of his repertoire. You can see that pitch down the middle, but pulls the string on it.
Fastball is as high as 96.
And the curveball at 80.
And then he just threw that changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike, and a pick off to first. Broxton on the move. Broxton slides. He's out. A caught stealing to end the inning. Brewers will take a quick peek here just to see if Broxton got a foot in. It's close. It was a high tag. Looked like he got him on the hip. he got him.
And a little bit too close. Yep.
Not enough there to overturn or even take a look at, I would imagine. So what looked like a promising 2-out rally. No, Craig Counsell says take a look here. We got unlimited reviews according to the release Major League Baseball sent because of technical problems with the replays operation.
It's about the best look as you're going to get is the foot in before the tag is made, and you really can't tell right there. It might be a better angle at it. Where's the tag made? Right there on the leg. Pretty close. Craig Counsell's going to take a chance.
Well, remember, as you see, the emphatic call of Greg Gibson, the second base umpire, call on the field is out. So there's got to be clear and convincing evidence to overturn it. I'm not sure there is there, but we're only giving you our replays. Let's give you another look.
Let's see where the tag is right here. Does he get him the first swipe on the leg? I don't know. Pretty close. Question is, there's enough to overturn it.
And the answer is no. Call him out. Inning is over. 2-0 Arizona. We head to the third inning. Lead at Miller Park tonight as we head to the top of the third. Don't forget, Sunday on Fox, the Monster Energy Cup Series heats up under the lights in Charlotte. It's the longest race of the season. It's the Coca-Cola 600 at 4:30 p.m. Central, and it's only on Fox. Jed Bandy remains in the game to catch. Manny Pena is out, hit by a pitch. Sophia is down there. We'll get a report from the Brewer clubhouse when it becomes available. So a new battery for Zach Davies, with Bandy catching him now, and first man up is Gregor Blanco, who hit his 4th career leadoff home run in the first inning, his first as a Diamondback. Other 3 came as a member of the Giants. A longtime 4th outfielder with the Giants that played a lot with San Francisco.
And Diamondback just passed the Brewers in home runs, you know, in the National League. The Cubs lead the pack now. The Cubs have caught the Brewers. Cubs hit 3 home runs today in their game.
Cubs beat the Giants earlier today. Final of 5-1. Home runs in that game. Chris Bryant hit number 11. Hayward hit his 5th, and Zobrist went deep again. Cubs hit 4 home runs in a game against the Brewers on Sunday at Wrigley. Swinging a liner to right, base hit. Gregor Blanco is 2 for 2.
Yeah, that's that curveball for Zach Davies that has, really given him problems. A very inconsistent pitch for him, and that's the pitch that he worked on so hard in spring training. That was a curveball that Blanco just hit, just left it up in the zone.
Lead man on. Here comes David Peralta now. Some gaudy averages in this Colorado batting order. OPS numbers are very strong in their starting lineup as well. Goldschmidt leads the pack. He's up over 1,000. Peralta's at 833. Peralta hitting .317. A formidable offensive attack, to say the least. Little soft liner slicing foul.
They have 5 guys in the Diamondbacks batting order with an OPS over 800. And that's not too shabby.
Solid.
I mean, that's not only are getting hits, but it's not just bloopers. They got some gappage in there.
You look at their ball club too. You figure their bullpen was a little bit on the unknown. They had Fernando Rodney as their closer, and he's posted 12 saves already. Greg Holland has 19 with the Rockies. But Fernando Rodney has been up and down, to say the least, in his career. But right now he's going good. So if you had to find a hole, at least on paper, and what you would see throughout the season, it is the late inning relief and the closer. But if Rodney can carry it over what he's started here in 2017, then they're a pretty complete ball club, the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, starting rotation, bullpen, both with pretty good numbers as far as statistically. Earned run averages, the starting rotation #2 behind the Cardinals. And the bullpen just behind the Brewers in the top 5.
Well, they got a terrific manager in Torey Lovullo. He's finally getting a chance to manage in the big leagues at age 51. He was the bench coach for John Farrell in Boston and took over the Red Sox. You might remember when John Farrell had his cancer treatment a couple of seasons ago. Lovullo ran the Red Sox. Highly respected baseball man is Torey Lovullo. Can't find anybody who would speak a bad word about Lovullo, who bounced around in his big league career. He played in the late 80s to the late 90s. He got in 8 years in the big leagues when it was all said and done.
Very laid back atmosphere for the Diamondbacks. I mean, on and off the field, and they were having a lot of fun. Of course, winning will do that for you.
One and 2 the count on Peralta. Diamondbacks with 5 hits already. We play in the 3rd inning, just starting the 3rd. Nobody out. Blanco at first. Takes off. Swinging a base hit into right center field. Blanco can run, and he's around third. We'll try to score. The throw comes to second base, and it's an RBI double for David Peralta. 3-0 Arizona.
They have pretty good speed. Gregor Blanco on a base hit. He was running, but still able to score on that baseball out there into the gap in right center. 10th double for Peralta, driving in a run. So 3-0 Diamondbacks. I mean, you're starting to get into that danger zone. The way this starting rotation is for the Diamondbacks, you don't want to fall too far behind. Another curveball that stayed up in the zone. And Blanco screaming around the bases.
Now, to your point, when the Diamondbacks score 3 or more runs this year, they are 27-7 Speaks to their great pitching staff. 3 on the board quickly here tonight. Here's Paul Goldschmidt. Brewers are going to have to get better starts out of their starting rotation. It has been a rough go here this turn through the rotation. Starting Sunday in Chicago. They are all giving up runs, and the Brewers have found themselves in early holes.
And the long ball has been the issue. Giving up a lot of home runs.
11 in the last 4 games. Nobody out, runner at second. Goldschmidt at the plate. Pickoff play. Back is Peralta.
And one of the ways to beat the Diamondbacks is to be able to face Goldschmidt and Lamb with nobody on base. So far the Brewers have had a difficult time with that. I like to face those guys with nobody on base.
Lamb has 40 runs batted in, second in the National League. Goldschmidt comes in with 37. Goldschmidt's batting average with runners in scoring position is .451. Only Charlie Blackmon has a better wrist batting average, and it is Blackmon who leads the league in runs batted in at this point. It's a dangerous combination here. Just missed. Goldschmidt draws a walk. The league leader in that category. And 2 men are on. The first 3 have reached in this 3rd inning. So 2 on for Jake Lamb now. He's had the stroke going here. He's the reigning National League Player of the Week. And the last couple of days, he's played long ball against the Chicago White Sox. Went opposite field against the left-hander Quintana yesterday, the White Sox ace.
Stays right on it. Lefties don't give him a problem. Very similar to Travis Shaw. That's a pretty good run right there. Last 12 games.
Davies needs a double play out of him. 2 on, nobody out. And a bouncing ball right to Arcia, to the bag himself, and there's your double play. Just what he ordered up. 6-3 on the twin killing.
And that was a good pitch. A pitch going down and away from Lamb, and got it right on the end of the bat. A room service double play for Arcia. And taking it himself with a big arm, able to get the double play easily.
Lamb doesn't bounce into many of those. It's only the 3rd he's hit into this year. You never know when a game will turn. It's early. Diamondbacks have a 3-0 lead, but if Davies does go on and pitches well the rest of this one, that'll certainly be a turning point. Got him out in front of a breaking ball, and Braun will make the catch to retire Owings. Inning over. Only 1 in. Could have been a lot worse. 3-0 Diamondbacks.
Gregor Blanco scored from first on a double, and last night our showstopper Billy Hamilton for the Reds, he did one better. He went from first to home on a single to help win the game for the Reds. So here's a look. It was Zach Cozart who singled in the ninth off of closer Cody Allen. And we'll take a look at Billy Hamilton racing around the bases. And what's interesting, BA and Rock, is that he had to get on base with a challenge, or the Indians tried to turn a double play. Manager Brian Price came out to challenge the call, so Hamilton was safe at first, and then that set up Cozart's single to win the game.
He is one of the more entertaining players to watch because of that. He is so fast. He is Deion Sanders fast.
Yeah, I mean, when he gets on base, I mean, first base, it's almost like the guy, you know, you walk him, it's a triple sometimes. I mean, you just can't throw the guy out. Of course, the Brewers have thrown him out on occasion, but you just can't defend against that speed.
Orlando Arcia was at the play when Broxton was thrown out trying to steal. He'll lead off this third inning for Milwaukee. It's always fun to watch Billy Hamilton. The question always with Billy Hamilton is, can he get on base enough to utilize that speed? If he gets on, he'll lead the league in steals.
Right. I mean, and it's fun to watch him when you're watching highlights when he's doing it against somebody else. He's got 23 stolen bases this year.
And he leads the league, and he is already 9 ahead of his nearest challenger, D. Gordon in Miami. VR's up there third in the league. Remember, VR won the stolen base crown last year over Hamilton. Hamilton just couldn't get on base.
You've been keeping track of the bobblehead, the stolen base counter here?
I have. I got that one.
Is it up to date?
So it is 12 for VR. Currently up to date. But here's the thing about, we're talking about stolen bases, right? There are a number of elements when you fall behind early like the Brewers have been. And that's one area that you can't be yourself, your identity as a team. You can't go running as much as you'd like to when you're down 3, 4, 5 nothing early in games. So it takes away one of your strengths when you fall behind this early.
Yeah, but if you're, you know, VR and you know you can steal some bases, you know, the Brewers have a number of guys who can steal. But as long as you're not down, you know, 5, 6, 7 to nothing, I mean, you know, 3 to nothing is still gives you an opportunity to steal some bases. So the Brewers certainly are in a spot right now at a 3 to nothing deficit. You don't really hold the reins back on anybody.
Good breaking ball by Ray, strikes out Arcia. And that is the third strikeout for Robbie Ray. This guy's tough, man.
Yeah, that breaking ball down in the dirt and the high fastball with 2 strikes. He's going to get you to chase. He struck out VR on a high fastball. Got Santana and Arcia on breaking pitches out of the strike zone down.
Zach Davies fouls off the first offering. Robbie Ray's already been a part of 2 pretty big trades. Originally product of the Nationals. He was involved in that Doug Fister deal. Went from Washington to Detroit. Fister went from the Tigers to the Nationals that season. As Davies strikes out, back-to-back Ks for Robbie Ray. 2 outs in the inning. And then Ray, the next season, so one off season prior to the 2014 season, he's involved in a big trade. Then the next off season, just as he's getting comfortable as a Tiger, he was part of that 3-team deal between the Tigers, the Yankees, and the Diamondbacks. That was when the Yankees needed a shortstop after Derek Jeter retired. Didi Gregorius went to New York, and that's how Robbie Ray ended up with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And boy, did they find a gem.
Yeah, in his 3rd season with Arizona.
VR pops it up. And this is going to be a quick inning for Robbie Ray. 3 up and 3 down go the Brewers with a couple of strikeouts. Ray has 4 already in 3 scoreless innings. Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Toyota. Let's go places. How do you like the split grip right there, Rock?
Love it.
It's like Ty Cobb.
Turn of the
right
century. Yeah. That's when home runs were considered to be bad sports.
Right.
Right? Just kind of poke at it.
Back at Miller Park, Brian Anderson, Bill Schroeder, Sophia Minert. Tonight's game produced by Dan Keener. Directed by Mark Vittorio. Zach Davies down 3-0 early. Single runs in each of the first 3 innings and a couple of home runs. Blanco and Owings. And first ball swinging Brandon Drury, right to Perez. Out number 1. Early swings and counts for Arizona tonight.
And Zach doing a good job throwing something off speed early in the count to get him to roll over on an easy 5-3 put out.
Starts a 4-game series tonight. Diamondbacks will be here through Sunday. And a reminder that we have day games here on Saturday and Sunday. We would love to have you here at Miller Park. Good crowds expected. Memorial Day weekend in Milwaukee.
3 o'clock start on Saturday, right?
That's right. 3:10 first pitch on the air at 2:30 Saturday. That's Zach Greinke against Chase Anderson. Both will be pitching against their former clubs. There's Chase, acquired by the Brewers from Arizona in the Gene Segura deal. Segura now with the Mariners, by the way. Brewers are going to have Junior Guerra back tomorrow. Opening day starter returns. Long trip on the disabled list for him. Calf injury, calf strain. And his second start tomorrow. No restraints on Junior Guerra tomorrow, says the skipper, Craig Counsell.
Got his pitch count up pretty good in his last start down in the minor leagues.
I believe he ended at 92 pitches. 3-1 pitch is outside ball 4 to Herman. And a base runner with 1 away. Those are the numbers for Guerra from last season. A 9-game winner, a 2.81 ERA. Pitched so well, he was the opening day starter for the Brewers. He and Zach Davies were the 2 that were up for that honor. Guerra was the pitcher of the year for the Brewers last year.
And he will be making his first ever start against Arizona.
Man on, 1 out for Mathis. Strike 1. Now talking to Craig Counsell, he feels like Zach Davies, compared to last season, which was a terrific year for him, is right about where he was last year, making his 10th start. He got off to a slow start, did Zach. Remember, he was probably, in my opinion, I don't know how you feel about this, he's probably one more bad start away from going to AAA last year.
No doubt. He was 0-3, giving up a ton of runs, and then things turned around for him. One thing Zach has had a difficult time with is getting deep into games. Last time out against the Padres in San Diego, he was able to get through 6 innings, first time this year. There's a good curve.
Wave and a miss. Let's check in with Sophia for more on Davies.
Well, yeah, we talked to manager Craig Counsell about that, and he said really with Davies, he's gone into the 5th and for the first time a quality start in his last start against San Diego, but he said he's really had to work to get outs, and that was something we didn't see a lot from him last year. He said you haven't seen the quick innings. He's had a number of 20 pitch innings, sometimes even 30 pitch innings. So he said he's really had to work hard to get outs, and when he's a strike thrower, you assume that he can get those early outs. That's something that Davies has been trying to do more, is to pitch to that early contact.
And that early contact last year came with a lot of the changeups. He has not been able to, throw that changeup where he likes it. Yeah, keeping it down in the strike zone. Not so much getting the swing and miss, but a little ground ball off the end.
Well, starters going 5 innings or fewer has been a problem for the Brewers this year, despite the winning record and the first place slot in the standings. Our friends at Stats Inc. had a note today. Only the Reds have more games with a starting pitcher going 5 innings or fewer. The Reds have 25 games where their starter was unable to get through 5. Brewers have 24.
And that really takes a toll on the bullpen. Bullpen's been pretty good for the Brew Crew, but you keep that up, they're going to get they're going to be overextended.
2-2 the count on Mathis.
The other thing with Zach, I think, the league knows, what to expect out of Davies this year. I mean, he was able to get by with really good location, take nothing away from him. He kind of surprised a lot of people last year. He's not doing that. He's not surprising anybody this year. They are ready for him. They know how good he can be, and they have good scouting reports. And when he's not able to throw that off-speed stuff for strikes, that's when he really gets into trouble.
Brewers got Davies from the Baltimore Orioles. He was involved in that Gerardo Parra deal. In the big leagues with Milwaukee in 15. His 3rd season, first full season last season. Made 6 starts for the Brewers in 2015. One of Buck Showalter's favorites. He hated to lose him.
He always seems to be calm, cool, and collected out there on the mound. Even sometimes when he may not be, he doesn't show it. It seems like he's in control.
He lives in the Phoenix area. He's from Gilbert, Arizona. He's originally from the Seattle area. Full count to Mathis, runner at first. He fouls another one away. I'm sure Zach's got a lot of friends and family. Kids he grew up with watching the game tonight. He went to high school in Arizona. Calls it home still. Looks like he's still in high school, doesn't he?
Just getting ready to say, yeah. Hasn't changed much since then.
24 years of age, Zach Davies. Another 2-strike pitch, and Mathis waves and misses. Finally able to shake him with a breaking ball.
72 miles an hour on that pitch, makes it 73. And had Mathis way out in front. Check it out. Just really pulling the string at 73 miles an hour. There's that curve ball. It was still up in his zone, but he took so much off of it that Mathis was way out in front.
Good look at the grip of that curveball as he spins it in. Picks up his first strikeout of the game. And here's Robbie Ray now, the pitcher, with a runner at first. And it's in there for a strike. Robbie Ray, 25 years of age. In his 4th season in the big leagues, 3rd full season.
Looks a lot younger than he does on his picture on the scoreboard. And he shaved off the beard. Still got a little bit of growth there, but not like that. Looks like a different guy.
There's a lot of meat in that beard right there.
A lot of other stuff.
A lot of fertilizer. What do you got? Robbie Ray, spring training photo, or Eric Thames? Who's got the better beard going?
That's a Dallas Keuchel beard.
Some density in there.
Yeah, thick.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs in the inning. Ray puts a bat on it, and Thames will glove it, and one beard beats the other to the bag to end the inning. We're headed for the 4th. Thames will lead off. Braun to follow.
First of a 4-game series. And a reminder that all fans of the ballpark tomorrow night will get a 3/4 sleep Barrelman t-shirt. That's all free courtesy of Blue Jays Solutions. Great seats are still available for tomorrow night's game against the D-backs. Go to brewers.com/tickets.
I got an advance copy of the t-shirt. Nice. I like these a lot. I'm a big fan of the Barrelman logo.
It's the first one.
We might ought to bring that back for a game or two. You know, it fits right in with the ball and glove.
Right.
They only sent a double X up here. I don't know. I leave for a month and then I don't get any of the swag anymore, I guess. Tough sledding around here.
You could take it home if you'd like. What are you going to do with that?
I don't know. I like it. Maybe hang it on the wall.
What's your dog's name?
Chestnut.
Chestnut. Never mind.
Yeah, sir.
All right.
Eric Thames leads off. Well, this is not a good development here. Jesus Aguilar is on deck, which means Ryan Braun is out. So
Pena out, Braun out.
Bench is thinning quickly as Thames strikes out. First out of the inning and another K. That's 5 now for Robbie Ray.
And not sure what the issue could be with Ryan Braun. He popped out his first time up. Looks like Aguilar is going to go to first. You put Thames on left.
This 5-man bench down to 3 now. Bandy's in. Aguilar's in. Guessing they'll send Thames to left field, right? And Aguilar will play first. 1 hit for the Brewers. That was a single by Keon Broxton. A little flare in and out of the glove of the second baseman Brandon Drury, who was running into the outfield grass. By the way, did you hear the junior PA announcer
just now?
Yeah, the kid he just announced Jesus Aguilar.
I'm sorry, I did not.
It was impressive. Kid's name is Max Perez. Every now and then you get a gem, one of those kids who come up and they
some feeling into
it.
They
put it all on the line. Can't teach people to care, Rock.
No, you can't.
You're either born with it or you're not.
That's a cool thing that they do. They do that at most ballparks, but first 3 hitters in the inning. Kid gets to announce him. That's it's pretty cool for him or her.
Brewers need a good hype man right now. They're down 3-0. Somebody to get the crowd up. Full count to Aguilar. And he lines one into left field. Base hit. There you go. Pinch hit single for Aguilar. Let's listen in to young Max Perez.
Next batter, number 14, Hernan Perez.
That's
Very nice. Yeah, nice.
You had that last name down. Now let's see if that gets Hernan fired up. That's the thing about baseball, though. It's best not to be fired up.
Well, let's get the crowd fired up.
Yes.
Right. That has an effect. You don't want Perez all wired up there in the batter's box. That doesn't do you any good.
It's a game where those who can calm themselves have the most success, right?
Everything slows down when you're nice and calm up there at the plate or on the field. You don't want things moving around too quickly for you. That's what most players will tell you, that when they first come up, the game is really fast. Things move quickly. It's when you're able to relax, slow things down. That's what they say.
Down 0-2. One away with Aguilar at first. And Perez over to first. Goldschmidt very good over there. And the return feed not in time. Gets the force at second. Perez hustles down the line to extend the inning.
I'm not sure what Craig is wanting to look at. I want to make sure that, well, maybe they didn't even touch the second base.
Very good point.
Right. I mean, he was looking over there, and I don't think he did. I think Owens missed the bag.
And Torey Lovello's coming out. I think he may think that it was a play at first. Now remember, Council's already challenged and has lost, but as was stated before the game,
missed it there. Or at least you think, does he get it on the side of the bag? Now he tries to go across. I think he misses the bag.
It's a good look at the back foot.
Doesn't get
not
it
even
there.
close.
Yeah, so this might get turned around.
Well, again, if you're just joining us, we had an issue just as the game was starting. There was some kind of technical malfunction with the replay system. So they deemed the rest of the game unlimited challenges because of that. And Council's already lost a challenge in this game, but still able to ask for one here.
So I guess if, you know, even if it's close, why not if you get unlimited? I think Owens completely misses the bag unless he gets it on the heel right there. He misses it with the back foot. And Perez clearly safe at first. Does he get it on the heel on the corner? That's the question. Does he get it on the corner right there? He might have. That's the best look right there. Heel on the corner.
You know, the way his foot turns would lead you to believe he probably did catch the corner. Again, the call on the field is out, so it has to be convincing evidence. This is a crew chief review, so just to make sure we're under the rule book technically, this is not a council challenge. This is a crew chief review, as they will be the rest of the game.
They're taking a long look at it, that's for sure.
This would be a call, baseball's replay version of a technicality. You know, middle infielders have been scraping the bag or the neighborhood play for years, but in this day and age, infielders are taught to make sure they make contact with the bag.
You see the way perhaps the foot slides off the corner of the bag. Just watch the angle of the foot. Kind of on the side initially when it comes off the bag. I mean, you're just splitting hairs when you're talking about that. I mean, it's kind of.
You know, the hand to the headsets. A call is coming here. Jim Reynolds says he's out. A couple of calls going against Craig Counsell tonight.
Hey, it took an awfully long time to look at that review. What are they talking about? 2 minutes? The suggestion is go 2 minutes.
That could be in place next year.
Yeah.
Officially, not just a suggestion for next year.
Right.
2.5 for that one. 2:33 officially. Santana, first ball swinging, fly ball to center, and Blanco's there, and the inning is over. So here we go to the 5th. It is 3-0. Robbie Ray is pitching a 2-hit shutout through the first 4.
Park and revere the beard on Monday, June 19th. As the Brewers take on the Pirates, and all fans in attendance get an Eric Thames Revere the Beard t-shirt. That's free courtesy of BP Come On Back Club. Get your tickets today at brewers.com.
Eric Thames will go from first to left field. Ryan Braun out with left calf tightness. Aguilar stays in after his pinch hit single, hit for Braun last inning. So the Brewers have lost 2 players in this game, 2 starters. Manny Pena was out, got hit by a pitch on the elbow. That was in the 2nd inning, and then Braun exits on the day of his 10th year anniversary in the big leagues. Ryan leaves after only 1 at bat.
Man, must have done it, you know, on a play in the outfield, I would imagine, as he popped out to the catcher his first time up.
It's not a good sign. Braun has been on the disabled list with that injury and was hoping to be healthy and come back and give it a good stretch. Mounts are up the middle, ranging over. Arcia can't get it. Base hit for Blanco, his 3rd hit of the game. Well, the Diamondbacks are finding the holes to go along with their big home runs.
Davies just misses this one. It's just not able to get there and into center field.
Just past Davies and Arcia.
Changeup. And went curveball changeup, and Blanco able to get another base hit.
3 for 3 is the Diamondbacks leadoff hitter, including a leadoff home run. Diamondbacks have homers from Blanco and Owings, both led off innings. Other RBI was a David Peralta double. Peralta at the plate now. Takes a ball. Chance for 2. Got to hurry it up. VR. Arcia fires to first, and it is in time. Oh, the closing speed of Orlando Arcia's throwing arm. Man, oh man. Torey Lovullo wants to take a look at this one. That was a bullet from the bag.
Not just throw. Able to touch the bag. He gets the out there, and wow. Yeah, that's pretty close, but I don't think there's enough to overturn it. But you never know.
Bang bang at first base. Aguilar with the big stretch. The big man's limber.
Yeah, he does a good job of that, the stretch. That throw is a little bit too high, couldn't stretch too much.
So Lovullo's going to ask for a review here.
I was a little bit too hasty when I said back to old school. Now when the system is down a little bit, and not wait. I mean, there's a replay on every play, it seems like.
I mean, here's another example where we would love a clarification. We did get an email from Major League Baseball saying there were technical difficulties, but how many difficulties can you have? Both managers are able to see the replays,
right?
And they've been given unlimited replays because of the technical problems. So we're seeing way more reviews or requests for replay than we are accustomed to.
That's pretty bang bang, and yeah, of course wouldn't be surprised either way here. And because the throw's high, Aguilar not really able to stretch like he would normally stretch, because if the throw is a little bit lower, he's able to go down. If he does the big stretch on a high throw, he's going to miss it. And you can run it 100 times, you're going to see the same thing. It's a bang bang call. The call on the field is out. That's the key thing to remember. It's where the baseball, when the baseball touches the glove, not when the glove closes around the baseball.
Maybe they can alter their original stance on unlimited reviews and now go back and say no more reviews.
Your guess is as good as ours.
I say it will stand, but who knows?
Right.
Here it comes. Out. So there you go. Double play it is. As the baseball gods intended. 4-6-3 double play. I tell you what long replays do. It is prime time for Dean Roscoe, the Miller Park organ player.
Yeah, he's
on his game.
He's in his wheelhouse right there.
Oh,
replays,
man.
yeah. Yep.
I mean, he did everything right except break out some ABBA during that review, which was 2 minutes and 8 seconds.
Yeah, he does that. There's going to be some dancing in the booth.
Dean Roscoe. Goldschmidt sends one to right. Way back there. Santana has room. He's got it. And the inning is over. Brewers coming up down 3-0. We go to the bottom of the 5th.
Go around the league, and Ben Zobrist today had a solo home run, part of 3 solo home runs for the Cubs as they won 5-1 over the Giants. And for the Rays, Matt Andriese had 8 shutout innings. He gave up just 6 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts for him on the day. The Rays beat the Angels 4-0. And back in the NL Central, Francisco Cervelli had a great day at the plate. He went 4 for 5 with a double, 2 RBIs as the Pirates beat the Braves 9-4.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Quick look around the league on this Thursday night. First ball swinging Jet Bandy in his first at bat of the night, and he pops it up for the first out. Here comes Keon Broxton, has one of the 2 Brewer hits against Robbie Ray of the Diamondbacks.
And Robbie Ray with all the walks, I mean, second most in the National League coming in. He hasn't even come close to walking anybody tonight.
Grunting his way to a 2-hit shutout right now, Robbie Ray.
Grunts on the fastball, grunts on the changeup, and a curveball too. Every pitch.
See if we can listen in here. Are the grunts different? The curveball grunt, the fastball grunt. Nolan Ryan was a grunter, as I recall. He used to just bark out there.
See, there's a changeup, and he grunted. See, if he only grunt on the fastball, that's not real smart. I mean, guys will get that. Well, you grunt on all of them. Or you don't grunt at all.
There's a line shot in the right center field, and it is caught by Peralta. He was battling the lights, the ribbon board around Miller Park is at about that spot. He was fighting it all the way.
Yeah, good at bat right there for Keon Broxton once again. I mean, driving that ball to right center, hit it hard. Pitch on the corner, nice easy swing going to right field all the way, and that ball actually handcuffed him. He caught that one in the heel of the glove.
2 outs. Here's Arcia now. Orlando struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. Grunts everywhere. Pitcher, home plate umpire. And a fastball misses. When I watch Robbie Ray pitch, there's a lot of Cliff Lee in him. He has that quick release, wind up and release, different kind of stuff. Remember Lee threw the cut fastball, but he's choppy, you know, he's got a choppy motion. Works fast. Arcia skies one to center. And that's going to do it for the Brewers. Robbie Ray is on his A game tonight. 2-hit shutout through 5. We go to the 6th. Diamondbacks are coming up. They lead 3-0.
The Diamondbacks 3-0 as we head to the 6th, and today the Brewers Wives partnered with Victory Garden in support of their Garden Blitz, the nation's largest garden building event, building over 500 raised garden beds and empowering communities to grow their own food throughout the city of Milwaukee. So a job well done by the Brewers Wives on a beautiful day here in Milwaukee.
It was a great day. Had that spring feel, finally get the sun out, some warm weather. Well, here we go to the 6th inning from Miller Park. Brewers down 3-0. Diamondbacks scoring in each of the first 3 innings. Brewers trying to avoid a 4-game losing streak after they had won 4 in a row with the win at Wrigley Field last Friday. Got rained out Saturday, and they've lost 3 consecutive. Jake Lamb leads off. And Lamb hits one deep into right field. Long run Santana. And he cannot make the play, but it is a foul ball. Tough chance over there. Good effort by Santana.
Yep, got it down on the end, did Lamb. And Santana playing deep. Trying to get there, just couldn't do it. Change up, 78 miles an hour, and Lamb on the end, and just fouled by about a foot.
You could just see the evolution of Santana as an outfielder in his home ballpark. He's starting to really play right field well here. There are some quirky little angles out there in right. There's very little room, as you saw, between foul territory and the grandstand. You have that little inlet that comes in right field, and Santana at 6'5" is tall enough to take some home runs back in that spot. He's doing a good job. His game is growing right in front of our eyes.
Well, I mean, not just at the plate. We've been talking about his success now this month, but doing a good job out in right. He's got a terrific arm.
He plays at a very chill pace. He's got a easygoing personality. He's very similar to Corey Hart in that regard. He's one of those guys that is running fast even though he doesn't look like it. There's a bouncer, a hot one right to VR. Shift was on. He's in a good spot. And Owings is retired. 2 gone in the inning now. I beg your pardon, Lamb on the ground ball. Here's Owings with 1 away. Owings homered in the second to start the inning. Santana was the first of the trade prospects, the acquired prospects via trade, to make it to the big leagues. He was in that Carlos Gomez, Mike Fiers deal with Houston. Brewers got 4 prospects in that deal. Santana was the most major league ready and was in the big leagues that season quickly 2 years ago. And waiting for the others, one of those guys in that trade, Brett Phillips, is having a great run right now at AAA Colorado Springs. Josh Hader was in that deal, as was Adrian Hauser. So those were the 4 prospects. Last night, Brett Phillips went 2 for 4. Had a triple. He drove in a run.
Pretty good outfield in AAA.
Now, on any given night, you have Phillips, Brinson, Ryan Cordell all together in the outfield, although Cordell's playing a lot of third base these days. It's going to be interesting, Rock, to see what happens here with Ryan Braun. If he has to go on the disabled list, he's out of this game with a left calf tightness. He's got to go back on the DL. What do the Brewers do?
Well, again, and the Brewers are going to have to make a roster move for tomorrow to get Junior Guerra off the DL. So you can't send down a position player when you don't have the ability to use Braun. That really shortens your bench. A roster move coming before tomorrow's game to allow Junior Guerra to make his start.
Fly ball to center. Broxton went back, now coming in, and he's got it for out number 2.
Hey, tonight's Tavern of the Game winner, Fools or Wise Fools. That's an oxymoron, isn't it? That's in Green Bay. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, Wise Fools get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite beer pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
You go in wise, you leave a fool.
I guess if you're a fool, it's good to be a wise one.
In the fool classification.
Yeah, right.
In your own category.
There are levels of fools.
There's the fools, and then all the way up to wise fools. Right.
As opposed to a foolish wise man.
Mm-hmm. Don't see any of those. They do travel in threes, though.
Yeah.
Brandon Drury with a swing and a miss.
Hey, good pitch right there. Going down and away.
Well, Davies has it settled down. Looking for his 3rd consecutive scoreless inning. Pitching in the 6th inning, which is important. for this Brewer bullpen, needing a starter to go deeper in a game. Yesterday, the Diamondbacks had a bullpen by committee game against the White Sox, so they were hopeful. Torey Lovullo hopeful that his starter tonight, Robbie Ray, could go deep in a game, and he is on the efficiency plan. Had to cover 5 innings from his bullpen yesterday in a win over Chicago and a sweep of the Southsiders. Brandon Drury is 1 for 2. He singled in the second. Bounced out in the 4th inning. Good looking young infielder. Full count to him. Davies trying to get through this inning. 1, 2, 3, and a soft liner foul. Drury's done most of his damage at home. He's hitting just shy of 390 at Chase Field. Hitting at 299 currently. Ground ball over his VR. Got to hustle it over to first base and throws it away. It hits the runner.
Not sure what happened there. Just, I guess, didn't have a grip on the baseball. That was about as routine as it gets. That'll be an E4. He got there. It looked like it was going to be an easy out, but you know, the throw not even close.
And here comes Greg Counsell.
I'm not sure. Just bad throw.
Well, if it was kickball, he'd be out, but it's not.
Dodgeball.
Oh, I mean, it smoked him too, right in the thigh.
Yeah. I'm not sure what Counsell's talking over with the home plate umpire.
Now they're going to check on Drury, who immediately says, "I'm good. Nope, nothing wrong here." By the way, listen to Dean Roscoe's music choice here.
Yeah.
Right?
He's had a lot of prime time tonight. Got a lot of delays tonight.
He's dropping Dancing Queen on you. It's got to make you feel better.
He does that for me, you know.
It's really strange that that's your favorite song of all time.
It's not my favorite song.
I think it might be.
It's not my favorite. I just like it. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good in another delay here in this game.
Good work, Dean. Just got the chorus in too before we resume play.
He does take requests, you know.
Yeah, I know. Apparently he's listening. Sixth error for Jonathan VR. Here's Chris Herman now. Oliver Drake now loosening in the bullpen. This past week, Chris Herman had home runs in 3 consecutive games for the Diamondbacks, giving him 5 for the year. Fielder's choice and a walk tonight. He's been on base twice. He got picked off in the 2nd inning. On a back pick from Manny Pena. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 gone in the inning and a big swing and a miss. You can tell this guy has some tight springs in that swing. He has plenty of pop in that bat.
Yeah, good bat speed, and it seemed like when he has that violent swing, it's really not out of control. That was a good pitch by Davies. Another good curveball. He's really been able to throw a lot of good curveballs since the 3rd inning.
Fly ball foul. Two much improved teams from a year ago, the Brewers and the Diamondbacks. Brewers in first place in the Central, Diamondbacks in second place behind the raging hot Colorado Rockies. Arizona's 10 games over 500 coming into play. 29-19. Little half swing, he goes. Davies got him. Inning is over. Davies threw 6. 3-0 Arizona. In this game. A reminder to join Fox Sports Wisconsin on Sunday, June 4th. It is the Girls on the Run Southeastern Wisconsin Spring 5K. That's at Bayshore Town Center. Inspiring girls to be healthy and confident. To register, visit foxsportswisconsin.com/events. So Robbie Ray grunting his way through 5 shutout innings, 2 hits. Nick Franklin, the switch hitter, will lead off. Davies is out. Davies goes 6, gives up 3 runs.
Last 3 innings pretty good for Zach.
Technically a quality start. 6 innings and 3 runs. But Robbie Ray has kept the Brewers down. Davies goes 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs all earned, a couple of walks, a couple of strikeouts. Finished with a strikeout. Brewers don't have much of a bench remaining. 2 injuries in this game. Ryan Braun leaving with calf tightness, left calf. I put him on the disabled list. He just returned on Sunday and injured once again. Manny Pena left with an elbow injury, was hit by a pitch right on the point of the elbow.
Yeah, only Sogard and Travis Shaw remain on the bench. A couple of lefties.
Franklin, the pinch hitter. Bouncer foul past third. Franklin hasn't got many at bats as a right-handed batter. He's 0 for 9. And Franklin just his 4th at bat as a pinch hitter as a right-handed batter. Cuts right through it. And another strikeout for Robbie Ray.
Able to come back here after falling behind 3-1. A couple of fastballs. That one off the corner, and able to get Franklin on the swing and miss.
6 punch-outs for Robbie Ray.
And Ray is averaging 11 strikeouts per 9 innings, so this is not unusual for him. What is unusual is the fact that he hasn't walked anybody.
Brewers have been up there hacking. He's throwing strikes early, and in order to avoid getting down in the count quickly, the Brewers have been pretty aggressive at the plate. It's one area of improvement for the Brewers offense this year. They are seeing a lot of pitches, getting down or getting deep into counts. And Ray is on top of his game here tonight. He's feeling good, and you know, you give the catcher Jeff Mathis a lot of credit in that as well. Mathis, there's been very few shakeoffs. He's putting the sign down quickly. He's completely locked in with the rhythm of Robbie Ray and the pace that he wants to work.
Yep, and that has a lot to do with the success coming up. That high fastball, that's what got VR his first time up. Get it and go.
First time he's shaken him off in a while. Wants a curveball, and he just missed with it. Ray has averaged just shy of 5 walks per 9 innings this season. In and out of the glove of Mathis. So for Ray's career, his walks per 9 in the major leagues has been 3.8, and it is at a career high to start this season at 4.9. But the strikeout numbers surged last year. In his first full season, he got 32 starts last year, and he struck out as a starter. He struck out 11.3 batters per 9 innings. This year he's right at 11 per 9.
He's throwing everything for strikes tonight. Changeups, sliders, curveballs.
A couple of shakes that time. Wants a fastball, and VR pops it foul. And that'll be in the seats.
Tell you, when you're up there at the plate and you don't know, you don't have a predictable pitcher out there in the mound, it makes it awfully difficult. Even when you're ahead in the count, he's thrown 1-0 curveballs. He's been throwing, 3-2 fastballs, changeups, things like that, making it awfully difficult.
Back to the slider. And VR's hanging tough. Good battle here for VR. A switch hitter who is hitting just 163 as a right-handed batter. 6 foul balls in this at bat for VR. And Ray finally struck him out. 7 punch outs for Robbie Ray. Second time he's gotten VR.
And 4-seam fastball right on the outside corner, and you can see VR a little behind it. A lot of off-speed pitches, and Robbie Ray just won a 10-pitch at bat by Jonathan VR.
2 outs, nobody on. Here's Thames, who narrowly missed a home run in the first inning. 13 home runs for Eric Thames on the Powerball home run leaderboard, the club leader. Second, make it third in the National League. 15 homers leads the American League. Aaron Judge of the Yankees, Mike Trout of the Angels are at the top in the AL. Bryce Harper, Freddie Freeman lead the National League with 14 apiece. And then there's a group at 13, including Thames and Jake Lamb. Thames' last homer was May 9th. That was here at Miller Park against a lefty, Drew Pomeranz of the Red Sox. 2-2 pitch. Got him. Man, he is lights out tonight. So far, this is a night for Robbie Ray. Another strikeout. He strikes out the side in the 6th. He has 8 punchouts.
We head to the 7th, our minor league report. Jacob Nottingham for the Biloxi Shuckers last night went 3 for 5. He had a home run, scored 2 runs. Over his last 15 games, he's really swinging a hot bat, a .314 average, 7 RBIs for him. You see his season numbers as well, 220. Nottingham is the top catching prospect in the minor leagues.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Good to see Jacob having some success. Brewers got him in that deal with the Oakland Athletics. That was the Chris Davis deal. Oliver Drake's in to pitch for Milwaukee. 3-0 Arizona, 7th inning. And Mathis starts the inning with a high fly ball deep left center field. Broxton will run it down just shy of the wall. Broxton makes the play for out number 1.
Yeah, Oliver Drake has had a difficult time getting that splitter down in the strike zone. He pitched in the game yesterday against the Blue Jays, gave up a couple of runs in 2/3 of an inning. He gave up that grand slam yesterday to Ryan Goins. And a nice play, nice catch out there by Keon Broxton out there in the gap.
Yeah, the ending part of that catch was the easy part. Broxton sprinted to the spot. He has great speed and made it easy on himself. If you're late covering a ball like that, that's going to be a collision on the wall.
Right. Do all the work early. That was the Mike Cameron theory.
Devon White. Route efficiency is how they measure it these days. Wow, look at that swing. Robbie Ray just drops a bat head and a base hit to center field. It was like a cricket swing.
That's a pretty good splitter too. Yeah, down in the zone, and Ray just golfed it out there into center field. You see the split fingered grip. That ball was about ankle high, and he's able to dig it out and dump it into center field.
The angle of that bat at contact is impressive.
Almost straight up and down.
He's a good hitter. That's his 7th hit of the year, Robbie Ray. So that brings up Blanco, who has 3 of the 8 Diamondbacks hits tonight, including a leadoff home run in the 1st. It was the first leadoff home run for Gregor Blanco since 2014. He had a couple leadoff homers that year with the Giants. His first one came in 2013. 3 years between leadoff homers. His first of the year. Davies gave up single runs in each of the first 3 innings. Settles down to go 6.
And this part of the lineup is why Oliver Drake's in there. Greg Counsell likes to use him against lefties, including Blanco. 3 of 4 hitters are left-handed.
Yeah, Peralta is a lefty due next. It's 3-0, but the way Robbie Ray is pitching, it feels like it's 10-0. He doesn't look like he's giving up much. Got to get him out of the game at some point. His pitch count is still in very good shape as well.
Brewers have only had one man get as far as second base. That was back in the 2nd inning.
A called strike 3. Drake drops that splitter on Gregor Blanco, and down he goes. 2nd out of the inning.
Able to catch the inside corner with it. 83 miles an hour. Not going to get many swings on a 3-2 splitter.
It's interesting how he grips that ball too. He puts the lace, runs those fingers parallel with the lace, and so he's not gripping the lace. I guess he's using that as leverage to push off of, right? I mean, he's kind of got that screwball motion.
Yeah, it doesn't have that big tumble like a lot of the split-fingered fastballs that you see have. But he's able to throw it for strikes. And you see it. He doesn't have any fingers on a seam, unless that index finger might be touching one, but that the middle finger off the seam. And well, you line up 6 pitchers and you look at a curveball or slider grip, you're going to see 6 different grips. I mean, it might be subtle. A little turn of the baseball, maybe a finger pressure in a different spot, but a lot of different ways to throw every pitch.
Greinke is one of the masters at manipulating the baseball. Oh, a defensive swing there. Peralta's out. That's a good inning for Oliver Drake. Needed that. Stretch time at Miller Park. Let's see if the Brewers can get their bats going here. Down 3-0. Only 2 hits. Arizona, the surprising Diamondbacks, and they are getting a big performance out of Robbie Ray's in our Jimmy John's delivery of the game.
Yeah, the strikeouts are not the surprise. He's got 8 of them. He has not walked a batter. Here's a guy that came in the 2nd most walks of any pitcher in the National League, but he is pounding the strike zone with all of his pitches tonight. Change-up, fastballs, curveballs, and grunting on every one of them. Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Robbie Ray tonight.
Brewers have only stranded 2 base runners, only 2 hits in the game. There has been a double play turned. Jesus Aguilar has one of the 2 hits. He pinch hit for Braun, who left the game with tightness in the calf, and delivered with a base hit to left field. Aguilar, Perez, and Santana. 3, 4, 5 in the Brewers order. Pretty good swing, but he fouls it back. Jesus getting his big chance in the big leagues this year. AAA with the Indians. Last few seasons couldn't crack that very talented Indians roster. Swing and a miss. 3-2. That's a 3-1 hitters count. Powder River fastball, and Aguilar missed it.
Four-seamer had plenty to plate.
And back to it he goes. He's just blowing it by these guys. That's the other part of it that reminds me so much of Cliff Lee when he was right. I mean, Lee used to get on that fastball train and he'd work fast anyway. And hitters couldn't get to it. And he goes with another one and throws it right by Aguilar for his 9th strikeout and his 4th consecutive K.
Yeah, and the reason why he's able to do that like he did to Aguilar, because he's been mixing his pitches so well. He's throwing anything at any time. And when you go up there knowing that, I mean, you just can't sit on fastball, particularly on a 3-2 count. You can on 3-1. But 3-2, you're still feel like you're in protection mode.
It's got some finishing kick, doesn't it? Hernan Perez. Brewers haven't had a base runner since the 4th inning. That was a single by Aguilar. Perez did reach. It was on a fielder's choice. The Crew desperate for some offense, needing a base runner. Popped him up right up the pipe. That is going to be Drury to make the call. Out number 2.
Well, you can get live broadcast, scoring updates, breaking news, and more right at your fingertips with MLB.com At Bat, the official app of the Milwaukee Brewers. Download At Bat today, free for your smartphone or tablet.
Two gone. Here is Santana. I mean, Torey Lovello's probably thinking this managerial thing's easy. It's working out just like he wants it. He's got a team that has won a lot of games. 10 games over 500. Yesterday won a game when you had nothing but relievers pitch in a game. Bullpen by committee day. Randall Delgado started the game, went 4 innings. This was the day you're probably looking at as a little bit of anxiety with no net for your starter, and yet Robbie Ray is delivering a gem for his manager tonight. There won't be any bullpen problems in this game. Had to pick up 5 innings yesterday, and intense innings too. That was a close game. The Diamondbacks won. They won 8-6 yesterday. Had to come back to do it.
Here the thing is, as well as Robbie Ray has pitched, you're not sure how much longer he's going to be able to stay out there. He's just thrown his 100th pitch. So the Brewers are still in this game. As well as he's done, the Brewers are a couple of base runners and a long ball away from tying it up.
Well, judging by that shot of the bullpen, you know he's got,
well, this inning anyway.
This inning for sure. I mean, I'd say 2-3 more hitters if the Brewers can get something going here. And he's in the rocking chair right now, Robbie Ray. 2-2. Santana pops it up. Goldschmidt over with room, and that is the inning. And Robbie Ray with 7 strong innings. Only 2 hits, no runs. We go to the 8th. Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Getting to the late innings here at Miller Park in front of 30,000 plus on a Thursday night. And the Brewers make a pitching change. Jared Hughes will coming out of the bullpen. Oliver Drake with a scoreless 7th inning. Now Hughes has the 8th.
Yeah, we saw him in yesterday's game against the Blue Jays, a 3-up 3-down inning. You see his numbers overall. He had a really rough outing against the Cubs at Wrigley Field. That earned run average would be a lot lower than 4.00. Not a strikeout guy. 9 strikeouts, 18 innings, gets a lot of ground ball outs.
He's got a big matchup to start. No easing your way into your outing today with Paul Goldschmidt leading off, and Hughes spins one in there for a strike. Goldschmidt is 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. He's the National League leader in walks, 2nd in runs scored in the NL. 11 homers, 37 runs batted in. And that ball is ripped into right center field. That is way back there and off the wall. Goldschmidt on his way to 2nd with a double, like a bullet off the bat, and his first hit of the game.
Yeah, you can't make mistakes to Paul Goldschmidt. You know, he is 0 for 2 with a walk. Got to be careful with him. You can see Hughes with that 2-seam fastball left that one up out over the plate, and Goldschmidt hammers it out there into the gap. That is right in his wheelhouse. Very good opposite field hitter. Hits it right off the base of the fence out there in right center.
Only the elite power hitters produce a sound like that. Well, you knew that one had something on it. So a leadoff double here, and now Jake Lamb will bat. Goldschmidt takes off, throw to 3rd, skips in, and Goldschmidt is safe.
12 bags for him. That's a surprise.
He's got 12 steals, 12 doubles, and 11 homers.
Total package and Gold Glove defense. Yeah, Hughes takes a while to get rid of it. That's a good pick by Perez to keep it in the infield. Had a good jump. Maybe a perfect throw might make it close.
Infield in now. And Lamb breaks his bat. Backhanded by VR. Good play. Out at first. And Goldschmidt has to stay put at third.
He got it right off the end. Not much left of it.
That's a National League Player of the Week bat. That is history.
Right. And the end of that bat coming right back at Jared Hughes, but able to get the out as VR.
Infield still in, one away now. Here's Chris Owings. Owings has already matched his career high for homers in a season. His home run in the second inning was his 6th. Had a big month of April, drove in a ton of runs, 19 RBIs in the first month of the season. He fouls that one away.
Starting to get some good sink on that fastball. Left that pitch to Goldschmidt up. He hammered it into the gap, but since that time he's been able to get on top of it better. That's why I don't mind bringing the infield in. You have to do it anyway. You're already down 3-0, but pretty good chance you are going to get a ground ball with Hughes. More times than not.
1-2 to Owings. Goldschmidt at third base. Infield in. The 1-2 is swung on and missed. Hughes strikes him out. So with a runner at third and nobody out, Hughes retires Lamb and Owings.
Now look at the sink on this pitch. Down and away, had the plate, but below the knees, and he gets his strikeout. That's good sink.
Now you got to bear down and get Drury here and get out of this inning. That would be a bullpen win for Jared Hughes after a lead double and then a stolen base. Infield backs up. Drury chops it foul. That sinker is diving in the zone. You can tell by the swings.
Yeah. He threw one bad one. That was the one to Goldschmidt. But since that time, he's right back to where he wants to be.
Taken off the big league roster by the Pirates. Spring training, Brewers acquired Jared Hughes. He's a great character. He's a really funny guy. Always has the antics. He's all business on the mound, but he's an interesting study. He talks to himself. He sprints in from the bullpen. He's a character.
Constant smile on his face.
He started a dance off in Chicago during the rain delay with the Cubs bullpen. 0-2 pitch, chopper foul. Cubs bullpens at Wrigley are, well, both bullpens, they're hidden, so each bullpen can see the other on a video monitor, and they were going back and forth. Good way to pass a couple of hours at Wrigley Field. Trying to get the Brewers to the home 8th. Goldschmidt at third. 0-2 pitch. And that skips away. Bandy, here comes Goldschmidt, and he's going to score. And it's 4-0. The base running of Paul Goldschmidt steals a run in this 8th inning.
Yeah, never takes anything for granted. I mean, he takes that good secondary lead on the pitch. You see the way he takes that crow hop as the pitch gets to home plate and able to score. That's the thing you don't realize about Goldschmidt unless you watch him every day. He can fly. He can run.
Well, his legs got the Diamondbacks a run there. Called strike 3 to end the inning. But a run scores on a wild pitch, and the Diamondbacks are up 4-0 now.
They lead 4-0. The offense for the Brewers has been really tough to get against Robbie Ray here tonight. We're getting set for Brewers Live postgame coming up after the ball game. He's going to be a big story. And Augie, we don't see the Diamondbacks very often, and Brewer hitters are probably saying, thank goodness with this guy on the mound.
Yeah,
right
their
now.
starting staff has been very good, second in the National League. And I'll tell you one thing about Robbie Ray tonight, very aggressive in the strike zone, really pitched down well, used the breaking ball, then went that fastball up high. Got a lot of Brewers swinging at it. 9 strikeouts, just 2 hits delivered, no walks in this game. We'll talk about that storyline, see if the Brewers can get a comeback here. Quality start for Zach Davies, even though he struggled early in this game. And of course, we'll hear from Craig Counsell as well coming up. Brian.
All right, thanks, Craig and Augie. And you see Archie Bradley and his beard have arrived to the Miller Park mound. Ray is out, 7 shutout innings.
And those numbers aren't bad either. 129 earned run average in game number 15. Pitched a couple days ago against the White Sox.
Jet Bandy will lead off for the Brewers. Brewers would take anybody but Ray at this point.
And big fastball's got a good overhand curveball. Throws that knuckle curve.
Brewers will see the Diamondbacks on the road in Arizona in June 9th through the 11th. This is a 4-game series. The first of 7 season meetings against Arizona. And a very good ball club, the Diamondbacks. They look for real. Trying to win their 30th game of the year. Bandy to right, sinking fast. Peralta makes a catch. 1 away. Now to bring up Broxton. Has one of the 2 hits for the Brewers. At the plate presented by Wendy's. Broxton singled to right, but was then caught stealing to end the inning, which is why the Brewers have had only 2 runners left on base in this game, despite 2 hits and a hit by pitch. 3 base runners.
Yep, and have not had an at-bat with a man in scoring position tonight.
Broxton into right for Peralta, 2 outs. All right, Rock, we need something to smile about, so let's take you back. These 2 teams are relevant once again in the standings. Last time they were together was 2011. This was one of the biggest hits in franchise history, and the first playoff series win for the Brewers since 1982. That was 2011. Tony Plush, Niger Morgan with a base hit that drove in Gomez, and what a scene at Miller Park.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Brewers advancing to the NLCS that year against the Cardinals.
And J.J. Putt's in the ballpark tonight.
Puts the man who gave up the hit. He is now a broadcaster with the Diamondbacks on the radio. That's a drive into right center field. No one's going to get to this one. To the wall it goes. Arcia on his way to second base with a double. Finally a hit for Milwaukee. Finally a base runner.
And now an at bat for the Brewers with a man in scoring position. Their first tonight.
13 straight retired before this double by Arcia.
Yeah, cut fastball that stayed right down the middle of the plate, and Arcia does what he's been doing, driving it to the opposite field. A lot of his hits, all of his home runs have come to the opposite field. Nobody going to get that one.
Two-out double. And here comes Eric Sogard, pinch hitting. One player left for the Brewers on the bench. That is Travis Shaw. Two have left this game due to injury if you're just joining us. Ryan Braun, calf tightness. Manny Pena got hit by a pitch on the elbow. Not a bad idea. Third baseman Lamb was deep.
Yeah, do whatever you can to get base runners. Maybe somebody can get a hold of one here, get back in his game.
Arcia with a big lead at second. Well, that run Goldschmidt scores in the top of this inning is a big one to push it to 4-0. And just the way the Diamondbacks got that run. Goldschmidt doubled, then stole third, then scored on a wild pitch.
All by himself.
Sogard takes strike 2.
It's that knuckle curve.
Sogard trying to get a good look here at Archie Bradley. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a call. Strike 3. Down he goes. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. And the beat goes on for Diamondbacks pitching. 10 strikeouts tonight for the D-back hurlers. We go to the 9th. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Let the games begin. Brewers need to come up with some magic here. They're down 4-0 as we go to the 9th inning. Impressive Diamondback pitching tonight has been the story. Robbie Ray, 7 innings. Bradley just worked his scoreless 8th. And here is Corey Knebel, who has not pitched in a game in a while.
Yeah, it's been a week. It's been a week for Knebel. Last pitched on Thursday. And tossed a scoreless 9th at San Diego for his 3rd save of the year. You see his numbers. Terrific work for Corey Knebel so far this year. 24th appearance. Look at all the strikeouts. 38 punch-outs in 22 innings.
First week on the job as closer was a success. 3 for 3 on the last road trip. Chris Herman leads off for Arizona. They are at the bottom of their order. Herman, Mathis, and then the pitcher spot. In the Brewer 9th inning, it'll be the top of the order. Robbie Ray, the Diamondback starter, came into this game with the best road ERA, and he actually lowered it. 0.81 is his road ERA now. He's given up just 3 earned runs in 33 1/3 innings in 5 road starts.
Isn't that something? And he's got an earned run average near 7 at home.
Go figure. He looked like an ace tonight.
You know.
Throwing hard. Fastball that hit 96 miles an hour.
Threw a lot of changeups tonight. And scouting report on him, normally not a lot of changeups, but he did. He threw a ton of them. I think that surprised the Brewers more than anything.
2-2 the count. I'm sure Knebel is fighting a little rust on the mound. Pretty good curveball there, misses. Managers are always in a tough spot nightly when you're not in save situations. The balance between getting a closer work and running into a bunch of save situations when you have to roll them out there, because you never know. As soon as you go put a guy in to just get him back on the mound like tonight, that's when you have like 5 in a row save opportunities, and you burned him. But
Craig Counsell could only hope.
Can't go too much longer without having Knebel throw in a game.
That's the thing about having Neftali Feliz in that bullpen as well. He's throwing much better. He got taken out of that closer's role, and he pitched 2 innings. A couple of days ago, and looked pretty good in doing it.
I agree. Yeah, and you got Peralta throwing well down there, so some options. Knebel doesn't want to give this up, though. He's done a good job. Full count to Herman. 98 with that fastball. Hitters say about Knebel's pitches that you scramble to try to find the release point, because he gives you a lot of his back, and then you're trying to find the baseball coming out of the hand. And it's tough, and he throws hard, and he's got a great curveball. Another fastball.
And normally not afraid to throw that curveball anytime. He will throw it on 3-2, but let's see if he does it here. This is the 9th pitch of this at bat.
Leadoff hitter in the 9th. 7th place hitter Chris Herman. And he got him. Good pitch. Buckled him.
That's what's made him so good. He's now had at least 1 strikeout in every appearance this year, now 24. That's what you call being consistent. Here's a 3-2 curveball on pitch number 9 of the at bat. Getting plenty of the plate. Heck of a pitch.
There aren't many closers throughout baseball history that have had a ton of success with fastball curveball combination. What you see the most is fastball slider, and then you get the occasional closer with the changeup, like we saw with Trevor Hoffman and Francisco Rodriguez, but the fastball curveball combo is a bit of an unusual one.
That's because the curveball typically is not an easy pitch to get for a called strike. And that big break, sometimes it's difficult to find the strike zone with it.
Joakim Soria of the Royals, when he burst onto the scene, was a fastball curveball closer. It acts as a change of pace from his fastball, and he can do things like that, blow a 97-mile-an-hour heater right by you. Back-to-back Ks for Knebel. And Craig Counsell's on his way out. I think he's going to make a change here, trying to protect that pitch count a little bit. That's enough work for Knebel. So back to the bullpen with 2 outs and nobody on.
Inning with 2 outs. This Sunday is Robin Young bobblehead day at the ballpark. All fans at Miller Park with the Brewers matchup against these Diamondbacks will get a bobblehead of the kid riding a motorcycle courtesy of U.S. Cellular. Plus kids 14 and under eat for free. Brewers.com for tickets.
2 outs, 9th inning, and in an inning where Craig Counsell is trying to get his late inning relievers some work, Knebel strikes out 2 batters, exits, and now Jacob Barnes is in.
Man, he pitched last Thursday at San Diego. It's been a week for him as well. Had a 3-up, 3-down inning, a couple of strikeouts. He's been much better, been unscored upon in each of his last 4 outings.
Ray Fuentes, the pinch hitter. And it's quickly 0-2. Top of the order is coming up in the bottom of the 9th. Villar, Thames, Aguilar.
About those cleats, partner?
It's a shiny shade of blue. Matches the trimming in the uniforms.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had that color until I saw the shoes. Really brings out that version.
Good highlights. What do you call that? Robin's egg blue?
I like that. I'll go with that. Those are big league shoes.
Nice.
It's a perfect match with the piping, see?
Yeah.
These Diamondbacks uniforms look like they're soaking wet. Trendsetters. the D-backs.
They are interesting. They broke them out first. We saw them in spring training. They've got a darker version of that gray that they were as well.
They used to have the pants that kind of like faded down into a darker color, though.
Yeah.
Well, they won't be changing them now. It's working for them. Count will stay at 2-2.
Did you see Willie Stargell wearing those shoes? What do you think?
I don't think so, but I don't know. He had plenty of style back in the day.
Yeah, he did. I'm not saying it's not stylish, but
if made available. Did you see Bill Schroeder wearing those shoes is the bigger question.
I don't think so.
Full count. Barnes deals it, and a little tapper got to hustle it up here. Perez makes a nice play, and that will end the inning. So Knebel gets some work. Barnes gets some work. Let's see if the Brewers can get some runs. Top of the order coming up. VR, Thames, and Aguilar. Go to this bottom of the ninth inning. Brewers are looking for some power. As we take a look at the home run barrage of the Brewers this year. Powerball home run count is at 68 as we come into play among league leaders. Santana and Broxton homering yesterday against the Blue Jays. TJ McFarland is on the mound for Arizona as we go to the bottom of the ninth inning.
One of two left-handers down in that bullpen for the Diamondbacks. Not a save situation. They're not going to bring in Rodney. He's worked back-to-back days. And McFarland last pitched May 21st at San Diego. So it's been a while for him, a few days.
VR takes a strike. So Fuentes stays in the game to play left field for Herman. Brewers have not been shut out since May 5th and only shut out once this year. That was on a rainy night in Pittsburgh, and the score was 4-0 in that game. Brewers in danger of losing 4 in a row and losing their spot atop the National League Central, which is occupied by the Cubs. Cubs beat the Giants today. VR 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts on his line. And every at bat for VR right-handed. 2-2 the count. VR has seen a lot of pitches tonight. Doesn't have any hits to show for it. Had a 10-pitch battle against Robbie Ray his last time up. Ended in a strikeout. Mathis wants the fastball. 2-2, and VR a chopper to short. Owings coming in. Quick release and out number 1. We're back at it tomorrow. Game 2 of this 4-game series. Zach Godley and Junior Guerra. Guerra returning from the disabled list. Opening day starter for the Brewers. Was injured in an at-bat in his 3rd inning. That's been it this year. He's been on the shelf since with a calf strain. Eric Thames now. Thames is just a tick off. You can tell he's just missing. Timing's not as it was in the first month of the season. Comes and goes. Numbers are still massive. And he's been getting on base. He's been drawing his walks. That's one thing about a good hitter. As he chops one over to the only man over there, Lamb, the 3rd baseman, with the shift on and 2 quick outs. The good hitters get on base even when they're not getting hits.
What are you doing for me if you're not getting hits, right? I mean, that's an age-old question. That's the difference between your really good players and just your average guy. I mean, are you getting on base? Are you making something happen? You know, are you playing good defense?
Last hope for the Brewers here, Jesus Aguilar. Brewers have 3 hits. Aguilar has 1 of them. Arcia doubled. Best hit ball of the night by a Brewer. That was a double into right center last inning. Aguilar and Broxton with the other hits. Those were singles. Robbie Ray was brilliant tonight. 7 innings, 2-hit shutout. And another ground ball to the left side. This will be Owings to make the play, and that's that. Diamondbacks win it 4-0. Brewers get shut out for the 2nd time this year. And Torey Lovullo's Diamondbacks are now 30-19. 2 homers in the game, Blanco and Owings. Paul Goldschmidt with a double and a run scored. And Robbie Ray wins his 4th of the year. Zach Davies drops to 5-3. 4-0 the final. Time for Brewers Live. Let's send it out to Craig Kashawn, standing by with Jerry Augustine. Take it away, Craig.
Okay, B, thanks very much. We're going to hear from Craig Counsell on the way. He's going to have some news not only on this game, but catcher Manny Pena as well, and Ryan Braun, who left the game, both of them with injuries. And we'll look at game 2 as well. Stay with us. Brewers Live presented by Ascension is next.